Welcome back, guys. It's Sports Network back with another video, and in today's video, we have mock draft 6.0 with trades, of course. So let's get right into it. Number 1 overall, Jacksonville Jaguars select Trevor Lawrence. There's never been a more transcendent talent in the past 9 years to come out of the NFL draft than Trevor Lawrence. The last time there was this much of a surefire home run at the number 1 overall pick, it was Andrew Luck to the Indianapolis Colts in 2012. There's a reason why Urban Meyer decided to break into the NFL this year. He's been waiting for quite some time for the right time to jump into the NFL, and what better time to become an NFL head coach when you have the opportunity to coach probably the greatest quarterback prospect we've ever seen in the past decade. Trevor Lawrence is the number 1 pick in the NFL draft because he has everything that you would want in a quarterback. He's 6'6", he weighs 215 pounds, he has a cannon of an arm, he has a dead-eye accuracy, and he could scramble out of the pocket. He possesses the ability to potentially read NFL defenses early on in his career because he has a tremendous football IQ. So, Trevor Lawrence out of Clemson. Number 2 overall, New York Jets here. I would go Panay Sewell here, but recently there's been some rumors that the Jets want to trade Sam Darnold. And if that's the case, they're going to get Zach Wilson out of BYU there. So, Zach Wilson's an amazing prospect, 210 pounds. Amazing player. Better than Trevor Lawrence in some aspects of the game. Zach Wilson just an amazing player. And even if they don't trade Sam Darnold, keep Zach Wilson on the bench for a year or two while you're evaluating Sam Darnold. That wouldn't be bad either. So evaluate Sam Darnold while you have somebody on the bench that could take over if you think Sam Darnold is not the guy. So number 3 overall, we have the Miami Dolphins. I have a trade in this spot with the Denver Broncos and the Miami Dolphins. Here, I'm going to trade a third-round pick, a first-round pick for next year, and a third-round pick for next year as well for the 3rd overall pick. Here, the Dolphins accept the offer, and I think it's pretty obvious that Drew Lock is not the answer to the Broncos. They need a quarterback. Justin Fields here. I think they'd rather have Justin Fields over Zach Wilson, so the board falls the way they would want. I'm thinking they're probably targeting Justin Fields here. The Falcons could be taking him at 4. The Panthers could be taking him at 8 if the Falcons do pass him up. And then the Eagles, they're one of those sneaky teams to take a quarterback. And Justin Fields is there at 7. Maybe even the Lions. So they're going to trade up and get Justin Fields of Ohio State. Here are 3 quarterbacks to start off the top 3. And then the Falcons here. Matt Ryan is probably going to be leaving in the next couple of years here. They're going to develop somebody on the bench, and that guy is Trey Lands. Trey Lands is the biggest boomer bust prospect in the draft. He has great potential, possibly more potential than Justin Fields. And when you have one of the best in the league right now, Matt Ryan, and this is an amazing spot for Trey Lands to go there. And then Cincinnati Bengals, they are absolutely amazed because Panay Sewell falls on my number 5. His first overall talent, and they get him at pick 5, and it's perfect for the left tackle spot. Panay Sewell, the fans want it, everybody wants it, and they're going to take Panay Sewell out of Oregon there. And they need to protect Joe Burrow. And we have the Philadelphia Eagles here. I had them taking Kyle Pitts out of Florida. That's that. Zach Ertz is probably on his way out of Philadelphia in the next couple of years. They do have Dallas Goedert, but they use him with Zach Ertz, so then they add Kyle Pitts, and then can still continue using that two tight end. And even while Zach Ertz is still there, you can put him at slot receiver. He can do a lot of things for you. He can play wide receiver. He can fit perfect there. So, Oppitt's out of Florida. And that's an amazing fit. And Detroit Lions here have them taking Jalen Waddle out of Alabama. He's surprisingly my number one wide receiver. Here, Devontae Smith, his small size, I'm worried about what he can do in the NFL. And Jamar Chase, he opted out this year. So he hasn't played in 19 months. So that's a very interesting. And then I think Jalen Waddle is the biggest surefire pick in this receiving class. With Jamar Chase not playing in 19 months and Devontae Smith's small size, I think Jalen Waddle's an amazing player. He's fast. He's Tyreek Hill fast. He has Tyreek Hill talent, and he could be the next Tyreek Hill for the Detroit Lions. That would be a big piece if you want to be successful with Jared Goff. So that is an amazing player there to fit in there. And then Carolina Panthers here. They need a quarterback. Even though their top 4 quarterbacks are off the board, they're going to go Mac Jones out of Alabama. I know 5 quarterbacks in the top 10, but there's a lot of quarterback needy teams. This is a deep quarterback class with the top 5. The Panthers, they were at the Senior Bowl. Matt Rule, the head coach, had his hands on them. They were interviewing him, and Mac Jones out of Alabama there is an amazing. I mean, he's also a boomer bust prospect with all the weapons he played with, but he's probably going to be sitting behind Teddy Bridgewater there. So you put him in there at 8, he's probably going to be sitting behind Teddy Bridgewater, so you can develop him. And they don't have bad weapons there in Carolina. So yeah, Miami Dolphins here. They are going to take Devontae Smith, wide receiver out of Alabama. And trade down to number 9, and they probably still get the player that they possibly would have taken at 3. And Devontae Smith, they reunite him with Tua Tagovailoa. So, yeah, they still get him at number 9. And that's the second wide receiver off the board here. And then the Dallas Cowboys here, they need a cornerback. I have them taking Patrick Surtain, the second out of Alabama. I think Farley's better overall, but I think Surtain is a better scheme fit with the Cowboys here because they have Trevon Diggs, and former Alabama cornerback that they drafted last year, and he can fit perfectly with Patrick Surtain, reunite them, and could have one of the best young, promising secondary there. So I think they're gonna go Patrick Surtain here, and then New York Giants here. I've been going Jamar Chase out of LSU. They're just a really interesting pick there because Jamar Chase falls to 11, and they are going to take Jamar Chase. You can't pass up a talent like Jamar Chase when you need a receiver for your quarterback, Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is an amazing player, so you're going to get some weapons for him, and that would be an amazing pick. If the board falls like that, there's no way Jamar Chase is going to be passed up on if the top 10 picks fall like that. So Jamar Chase had LSU there. Pick 12 here. The Niners here. No quarterback on the board. The top 5 quarterbacks are off the board, and the next best is Kyle Trask. He's not first-round talent there. So they are going to go cornerback, plus Caleb Farley, the best cornerback in the draft class, is there. And number 12, they're going to be taking Caleb Farley. He's the best cornerback in the draft, in my opinion. But I think the Cowboys are going to take Surtain because I think he's a better fit. But Farley is an amazing player to put on that defense. I need a cornerback. And Caleb Farley is just an amazing talent to pass up on. Yeah, so he did opt out. So that could also be a reason why the Cowboys could take Patrick Surtain over him. And then the Chargers here, they're going to be taking Rashawn Slater out of Northwestern there because need a left tackle. Even in that left tackle, he does have some length issues. But he could play guard as well, and then he can get offensive tackle in the next round still, so he can even play offensive guard if we need to. And then if there's a good offensive tackle there in the second round, he could be like, oh, we're going to take him because he could play offensive tackle, and we can move him later to the interior of the offensive line. So it wouldn't be bad. So if a good offensive tackle is there, that might be, I'm going to take him, move Slater to guard, and that could work out good. So they're going to take Slater on Northwestern there to protect Justin Herbert. And then Minnesota Vikings here. I'm taking Elijah Vera Tucker out of USC here. They need to protect Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is running for his life there in Minnesota. At offensive line, you give Kirk Cousins time to throw the ball. You give wider running lanes for Dalvin Cook. So the more offensive line you have, you get to protect your quarterback, and you can get some running lanes there with Dalvin Cook. So that'd be an amazing pick there. New England Patriots here. I don't see them taking Torrent. Pat Freiermuth is the next best. Wide receiver Rashad Bateman is the next best. I couldn't see them doing that. And then interior defensive line, that could be too much of reach. And they got Micah Parsons here, who could play defensive line. He's a pass rusher, and they need a linebacker. They're going to take Micah Parsons out of Penn State there. They need a linebacker. I'm a Patriots fan. I would love Micah Parsons. I think I would rather have Devontae Smith, Jamar Chase, or Jalen Waddle, one of those receivers there. Or Kyle Pitts. Maybe even Mac Jones if he's there. But in this case, he's not. They're going to be taking Micah Parsons out of Penn State. If the top 3 receivers aren't there, Kyle Pitts is in there, and Mac Jones is in there, 100% go Parsons. Not even no question. Those guys are there, so yeah. Arizona Cardinals here. I have them taking J.C. Horn out of South Carolina. Need a corner. Don't think they need an edge anymore because they got J.J. Watt. So they're going to be taking J.C. Horn there out of South Carolina. Need a cornerback. I believe they run a man scheme, so J.C. Horn is an amazing man corner, so he would fit perfect there with the Arizona Cardinals. And then Las Vegas Raiders here, I have them taking Kwity Paye out of Michigan, best edge rusher in the draft class. Let me taking him. I think he's the best edge rusher in the draft class. So yeah, I think he's an amazing player. Miami Dolphins here, I have them taking Zaven Collins out of Tulsa. Because Jeremiah Wilson-Cornwell, more of a safety. Nick Bolton and Zaven Collins. I think Zaven Collins is better than him, so I'm going with Zaven Collins out of Tulsa there. He's a true linebacker. Jeremiah Wilson-Cornwell is kind of a safety. And Nick Bolton, I think Zaven Collins is better than Nick Bolton. So I'm going Zaven Collins out of Tulsa there for him. Washington football team. And I'm going Rashad Bateman out of Minnesota. Get that number 2 wide receiver was Terry McLaurin there. Help him out. And they're probably going to release Alex Smith, but none of the top 5 quarterbacks are there. So they're going to be taking Rashad Bateman there. And then probably stick with Heineke or somebody maybe. And at this point, they're probably just going to go, oh man, we're just going to have to get Cam Newton then. Or somebody in free agency, so. Chicago Bears, you have them going Christian Darrisaw out of Virginia Tech. You need an offensive tackle, and you do need a quarterback. Even if Mac Jones was there, don't see him taking Mac Jones because I don't think Mac Jones is a good scheme fit. With the Bears. But none of the top 5 quarterbacks are there, so they're going to be taking Christian Darrisaw out of Virginia Tech there. So, yeah, they need to protect the quarterback more than they need a quarterback, arguably. But they're one quarterback away, probably Kyle Trask in the later rounds. So, yeah. And you can bring in some competition there with Mitch Trubisky and see who wins the competition. So, yeah. And then, Indianapolis Colts, they need an Anthony Costanzo replacement after he retired. So, they're going to be taking Samuel Cosme out of Texas there to protect Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz has no new offensive line in Philadelphia, pretty much. So they're going to be taking Tim McCosme there out of Texas. Tennessee Titans here. I am going Azeez Ojulari out of Georgia. I think he's a safer option than Jalen Phillips because he possibly could be quitting football because of his concussions. And then Russo, he did not play this year, so I think that drops him down my board. So I think Azeez Ojulari is the safest pick. I think they do go Azeez Ojulari there out of Georgia. Young Jets here. I have them taking Terrace Marshall Jr. out of LSU. They need a receiver for Zach Wilson now. So I think they're going to go Terrace Marshall Jr. there and pick that. So yeah, and now the Pittsburgh Steelers, I have them taking Jalen Mayfield out of Michigan. He could even play guard. He could be a Pouncey replacement, or he can even or he could play tackle. Either way, we need to protect Big Ben because they did agree on a new contract earlier today. So, yeah. And then Jacksonville Jaguars, I have them taking Liam Eichenberg out of Notre Dame. I think he's better than Tevin Jenkins. They need offensive line. They can't pull an Indianapolis Colts and not get Trevor Lawrence offensive line help because the Colts pretty much forced him into an early retirement by getting him no offensive line, and Jaguars need offensive line. So now they have Trevor Lawrence and Liam Eichenberg, and they need to protect Trevor Lawrence so they don't force him into an early retirement, or he doesn't request a trade or anything. Then Cleveland Browns here, edge. They don't need an edge rusher, and they do, but they're not gonna take one. And cornerback, they're not gonna take one. They'll be taking Jeremiah Wilson-Cormoa. But yeah, and they need a linebacker and safety. He's pretty much a linebacker and a safety. But I've been going Christian Barmore. They need a rusher next to Myles Garrett. I'm taking Christian Barmore because they have Myles Garrett and they need to make it even scarier on there. Their defensive line's already pretty scary with Myles Garrett. They're gonna make it even scarier with Christian Barmore. And Baltimore Ravens here, I'm taking Jeremiah Wilson-Cormoa. He's a linebacker / safety, and they need a linebacker and a safety. And they usually go best player available, which is actually Najee Harris, but I don't think they're going to take it on running back in the first round. They just took J.K. Dobbins last year. So I'm taking Jeremiah Wilson-Cormoa at Notre Dame, best player available. They usually go best player available, and they're going to be going best player available here. So a lot of the times I do go best player available, so they're going to go Jeremiah Wilson-Cormoa. New Orleans Saints, I have them taking Kadarius Toney out of Florida. I do a lot of things with him. Need weapons for Jameis Winston. It's most likely going to be the quarterback, but either way, I need somebody there. So, yeah, and then Green Bay Packers, I have them taking Nick Bolton out of Missouri. It's a big hole in their thing there, and it's a big position of need for them. So yeah, and then Buffalo Bills here, they need an edge rusher. I have them taking Gregory Rousseau out of Miami. I think it's a safer pick than Jalen Phillips, even though he opted out. But Jalen Phillips, he could be quitting football, so I think that's a safer pick there. And then Kansas City Chiefs, they need a center. I'm taking Landon Dickerson out of Alabama there because they definitely need a running back. So I'm gonna be taking. They definitely need a center. So I'm gonna take Landon Dickerson there. Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 32. I have them taking Joseph Osai in edge out of Texas. I think he's better than Oweh and a safer pick than Jalen Phillips. So yeah, guys, that is my mock draft 6.0. So until next time, peace out.